Now, forfeiture of shares. First of all, in general terms, what do you mean by forfeiture? What did you say? What did you say? Something? Huh? Char feature. Now be attentive. I have to edit this. Be attentive. Forfeiture in general language means. I have to edit this also. Forfeiture in general means confiscate. Jabt. For example, suppose I laughter also instrument application allotment box. Yes, silence now. Be attentive. Confiscate means what? Suppose I have lent 10 lakh rupees to Uday, and in security he has given me jewelry of 15 lakhs of his wife. Now, normally it happens like that. If you lend the money, you'll take more amount in security. Now what will I do if he does not pay me that 10 lakh rupees loan? If he does not repay me the loan, I'll confiscate that jewelry, I'll forfeit that jewelry. Now here, this forfeiture is the result of calls in arrears. If the shareholder does not pay the money, we transfer it to calls in arrears. Now company is not going to sit and relax if the shareholder does not pay the money. Company has to take some action on that. So action on not paying that money is forfeiture of shares. But it is to be done as per the articles of association. Means whatever rules you have made in the articles. If you have made the rule, then you will give 2 notice or 2 reminders to the shareholders. Then you will forfeit the shares only after 2 reminders. You give them 2 reminders. If they don't pay the money with interest within that time, then the company will forfeit the shares. And what is the rate of interest in calls in arrears the shareholders have to pay? 10%. As per table F, now it is 10%. Old table A it was 5%, now table F it is 10%. Did you understand this? So what is this forfeiture of shares? It is the result of calls in. It is an action taken on the shareholders for not paying the money. But it has to be as per the law, as per the articles of association. Did you understand this portion? In simple language, forfeiture means cancellation of shares. Company maintains a register of shareholders, wherein they, even if they have 5 lakh shareholders, they maintain a register where they record the name of each and every shareholder. Who is the shareholder of the company? Company has the records of it. Okay. So if the shareholder does not pay the money, then after giving several notices, company forfeits the shares, means they cancel the shares. They cancel the name of that person from the owner's book of the company. He is now no more the owner of the company, because owner should pay the money as and when required. So that procedure is called forfeiture of shares. Now suppose company has called with application 3 rupees, with allotment 2 rupees, with first call again 3 rupees, and with final call 2 rupees. Let us say that shareholder does not pay this 2 rupees, calls in arrears. Company has the articles that 2 reminders company will give. Company gave 2 reminders, still the shareholder did not pay that 2 rupees. Now the company will forfeit the shares. How much has the shareholder already paid to the company? 8 rupees is already paid by the shareholder. This company is not going to refund back. This company is not going to So this is what the company will confiscate. And this shares company will give to someone else and again collect 10 rupees on it. So company is not at a loss. And company is least bothered whether the shareholders really pay the money or they are happy. If they don't pay, they get 18 rupees. 8 rupees shareholder is already paid. And again it will collect 10 rupees from someone else. It is the loss of shareholder only by not paying that money. Did you understand this portion? This procedure of cancellation of shares is called forfeit. So company here does confiscate, forfeit the amount. What does the company confiscate or forfeit here? That 8 rupees. Did you understand it? And the company gives the same shares to someone else. Now what entry should be passed at the time of forfeiture? So as I said, forfeiture means cancellation of shares. Now with every entry, what do we do to share? All other accounts get closed. What accounts finally remain in the ledger? Only share capital account. And if you would have made this ledger accounts in homework, illustration and one exercise, you'll find that share application squared up account, allotment squared up, call squared up. Because in one entry you debited, another entry you credited, so they get closed. Only share capital would be having closing balance. So what do you do with share capital? Share application to share capital. What do you do with share capital? You credit that. Then in allotment also share allotment to. What do you do with share capital? You credit that. And share first call, final call to share capital. What do you do with share capital? You credit that. Means all the entries, what do you do with share capital? Now what will you do to cancel it, close it? So when forfeiture is done, then share capital account debit. First thing. Okay, in all the entries earlier share capital account is credited. Now to close it, we reverse and debit. Did you understand this? If shares are issued at par, then fine. If they are issued at premium, then we also credit security premium account. Okay, and we credit security premium in these cases before receiving the money. Because we include premium with which entry? Allotment money due and first call money due. Share allotment to share capital to security premium. The next entry back to share allotment. Means security premium we already treated as our income and credited before receiving it. So premium is credited before receiving as our income. Now if shares are cancelled and the person has not paid the premium, then that account is also to be closed. So earlier premium is credited. What will we do to close it? Debit. Security premium account debit. Did you understand this? Same logic. Why do we debit share capital? To close the account. Earlier it is credited, now we debit to close the account. Why do we debit security premium account? To close it. Earlier it is credited, now we debit to close the account. But remember, you will debit it only if the premium is not paid, because we treat it as our income before receiving it. So if that income is not received, it is no more our income, we have to close that. But if that money is received, then we don't have to close it. So security premium account will debit only if the premium is not received by the company. In case of application, first we receive, then we transfer to premium. But in case of allotment and calls, when the money becomes due, at that point itself we credit security premium account, the next entry we receive it. So in the next entry, if premium is not received, then that security premium account is credited wrongly without receiving it. We have to close and debit. In short, when will you debit this account? Only when premium is not received. Keep it in mind. Okay? Then what did I say the company will confiscate or forfeit? How much amount? 8 rupees. That company is not going to refund back. What is this 8 rupees for the company? Income, gain. Because company is again going to collect 10 rupees from someone else. Credit all incomes and gains. So to share forfeiture account. Which account do we transfer this to? Amount is forfeited, confiscated, so that is transferred to share forfeiture account. And what amount did the person not pay? That earlier we debited to which account? Calls in arrears. Now after you cancel his shares, is he going to pay that? No. company will not even call because company has cancelled. So is this money any more receivable for the company? So that calls in arrears account also we have to close, which we debited earlier. What will you do to close that account? To calls in arrears account. You credit that. And I discussed it yesterday that there are two alternatives. Either you record calls in arrears or you don't. If you don't record calls in arrears, then same amount stands to the debit of share allotment or share call account. Then allotment or call account will not get closed. So either you credit to, if we record calls in arrears, you credit calls in arrears. If we don't record calls in arrears, then to share allotment account if allotment money is not paid, or to share call account if call money is not paid. And you can see in today's homework what you did, that they did not record. So some questions they recorded, some questions they don't record it. Means here also in forfeiture you will find the same thing. If they have not recorded calls in arrears, then you will credit which account? Share allotment and call account. If they have recorded, then call. When we are always going to record it. So in our solutions we will always write. But when we solve short questions where issue entry is not asked, directly forfeiture is asked, then we don't know whether company recorded calls in arrears or not. So there we also have to credit share allotment and share call account. So understand the complete concept. Okay. In long questions we will always credit calls in arrears because we are going to debit calls in arrears. In short questions we will credit share allotment and share call because we don't know which account was debited earlier. Did you understand this? The logic for these three things is to close the account. Why do we debit share capital? Earlier it's credited, to close it we reverse and debit. Why do we debit security premium account? To close. Earlier it's credited, to close it we reverse and debit. Why do we credit calls in arrears? To close it. Earlier it's debited, to close it we reverse and credit. Only this is an odd man out. Share forfeiture account we credit because it is our income. Credit all incomes and what the shareholder has paid will be forfeited. Did you understand this? Now, more important are amount, number of shares forfeited multiplied by called up capital per share. With what amount will you debit share capital account? Number of shares forfeited multiplied by called up, mainly remember called up capital. All amounts are to be multiplied by number of shares forfeited. Because if the shareholder holding 2000 shares has not paid the money, only 2000 shares are going to be forfeited and cancelled. Okay. Now why called up capital? Suppose the shareholder does not pay these two amounts, first call as well as final call. And after final call, company gives two reminders and then the company forfeits the shares. So, when the company is forfeiting the shares, by that time, have we passed the entry application to share capital in the books of accounts? Yes or no?
Yes.
Allotment to share capital?
Yes.
First call to share capital?
Yes.
Final call to share capital? Yes or no?
Yes.
Means company has credited share capital with full 10 rupees. So now we have to close and debit it with what amount? Full 10 rupees. Did you understand it? So what is called by the company when you are forfeiting? Company has called full 10 rupees. But suppose the shareholder did not pay first call. Thereafter company did not call final call. Company gave 2-3 reminders. The shareholder did not pay the money. And then before asking final call itself the company forfeited the shares. Before asking for final call, company forfeited the shares. Did you understand it? Now, have we passed the entry application to share capital with 3 rupees, yes or no?
Yes.
Allotment to share capital with 2 rupees, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. First call to share capital with 3 rupees, yes or no?
Yes.
Final call to share capital with 2 rupees, yes or no? No. Now when you are forfeiting the shares, only 3 entries are passed. So what did you credit to share capital? 8 rupees. What the company has called so far. So if you are debiting it to close it, you have to debit it with only 8 rupees. So remember this, that share capital account you will debit only with called up, and called up capital will depend upon when do you forfeit the shares. If you forfeit the shares after final call, then full 10 rupees. But if you forfeit before final call, then you will see up till that stage how much is called by the company. Did you understand it? Amounts are very important, okay? Now, security premium account with number of shares forfeited multiplied by premium not paid by the shareholder. As I said, only in case of application, first we receive the money, then we transfer to share capital and security premium. But in case of allotment and calls, if there is premium, first we transfer to share capital, then we receive the money. Means we treat premium as our income even before receiving that amount. So if later on the shareholder has not paid the money, it is no more our income. You have to close and debit. But you have to close only with that amount which is not paid by the shareholder. If premium is paid, you will not debit it. You will debit only if the premium is not paid. Did you understand this? Share forfeiture. As I discussed with you, how much amount is company going to forfeit in the first situation? 8 rupees. And in the current situation, 5 rupees. What is paid by the shareholder? 5 rupees that company will confiscate or forfeit. In short, what is income for the company? Number of shares forfeited multiplied by amount paid by the shareholder. Whatever amount is paid by the shareholder is income for the company. Okay? In this situation, company is not going to refund back 5 rupees. And in case if, as we discussed earlier, the shareholder does not pay 2 rupees, then company is not going to refund back 8 rupees. That is income for the company. So whatever amount is paid by the shareholder will be forfeited. Did you understand this portion, everyone? Okay. And call scenarios with number of shares forfeited multiplied with amount. What do we debit to calls in arrears account? Whatever amount is not paid by the shareholder, that only we have to reverse and credit. So this will be with the amount not paid by the shareholder. Okay, so calls in arrears you will credit with the amount not paid by the shareholder. Mainly you remember the red underlined parts only. Share capital account debit with called up capital. Security premium account debit with premium not paid. Share forfeiture account credit with amount paid by the shareholder. Calls in arrears credit with amount not paid. Is everyone clear with this? Any doubts up till here? All are to be multiplied with number of shares forfeited. Okay. Now next concept. As I said, after the forfeiture, what will the company do? They will give the same shares to someone else. So after forfeiture, there will be reissue of forfeited shares. It's a small entry, but explanation requires a lot of time. Okay, valuable things come in small packages. Now, reissue of forfeited shares, understand this. Company will give the same shares to someone else. Means again company will collect the money, so bank account debit, bank is the receiver, debit the receiver, bank account debit. Okay. Now this will be with number of shares reissued into reissue price. Now tell me one thing, will the number of shares forfeited and reissued be same or not?
Yes.
No. Suppose one shareholder, let us say, does not pay final call money on 500 shares, we forfeit 500 shares. Now we try to resell it to someone else. But one shareholder comes in because he says, I don't want to buy 500, I want to buy only 400 shares. So we'll give him 400 shares and we'll find someone else for 100 shares. So right now company may reissue only 400. That's why this entry all amounts will be multiplied with number of shares and this entry all will be multiplied with number of shares. Typically they will be same only, but in some questions you will find that forfeited number of shares are more and reissued are less. So be careful with that. Okay. Now into reissue price means at what price will you offer it to others? At what price will you offer the same shares to others? 10 rupees. You can give discount to others because company does not have to give discount from company's own pocket. Company has to give discount from old shareholders' pocket. Let us say that suppose Parthiv has not paid that final call money. Means Parthiv has paid 8 rupees to the company. So even if company suppose reissues the shares at 7 rupees, how much discount company is giving to the new shareholder? 3 rupees. Against 10 it is collecting 7. Company is not giving 3 rupees of discount from company's own pocket, it is given from Parthiv's pocket. Because how much did Parthiv already pay? 8. From that company is passing on 3 rupees. So here what is the reissue price? 7 rupees. Did you understand it? And if company is in a good position, they may collect premium also. Yes, company may collect instead of 10 rupees more than 10 also from the new shareholder. Okay. Now how much discount is company giving? 3 rupees. That we will debit to share forfeiture account. What is this discount for the company? Number of shares reissued into discount per share. To the new shareholder, company is giving 3 rupees of discount. Stop talking in between. What is this 3 rupees of discount for the company? Yes? It is neither a loss nor an expense. It is nothing for the company. As I said, company is not giving from its own pocket. So, whatever the old shareholder had paid, we credited to which account? Share forfeiture. We are utilizing the same money to give discount. So, same account is closed and debited. Otherwise, if it is company's expense, we would debit share discount account. But it is not company's expense. Company is passing on the discount from the same amount what the shareholder has paid earlier. And what is the maximum discount company can give? That 8 rupees. Company should not be at a loss. So company will not give more discount than what the earlier shareholder has already paid to the company should not be at a loss. Did you understand this? What is this discount for the company? Nothing. Company is passing on this discount from the same amount which was forfeited, which you credited to which account? So same account, to use it in giving discount, we reverse and debit. And you credit to share capital account. With what amount? Number of shares. Now here, company will again, when they reissue the shares, will not make the same mistake of calling the money again in installments. First time company already had a bad experience. One shareholder did not pay final call. So now again when the company reissues the shares. It will not call it installments, application, allotment, call. Now they will say to the new shareholders, pay full 10 rupees at one time. Now the new shareholder has to pay full amount at one. Means this 7, whatever he is paying, no more installments. Did you understand it? So straight away number of shares reissued into called up capital. Again, called up capital. Because if you reissue before final call, then you ask the new shareholder to pay only 8 rupees. Because new shareholder will pay remaining 2 rupees only when you ask the final call with all other shareholders. Along with them, the new shareholder will pay the. So again you credit share capital with what amount? Called up capital. Okay. So what is the entry of reissue? Bank account debit with reissue price. Share forfeiture account debit, same account debit with discount. And 2, share capital account with called up capital. All multiplied with number of shares reissued. Now, how much did old shareholder pay? 8. How much is new one paying? 7. Company is receiving 8 plus 7? 15. Against? 10. So company is at a profit of? 5. Does the company earn this profit again and again? No. One time. Is it revenue profit or capital profit? So it is transferred to capital reserve. In short, share forfeiture you credited with 8, debited with 3. How much is still remaining in share forfeiture? 8 minus 3? 5. That 5 is the profit for the company. That now we have to close and transfer to which account? Capital reserve, because it is capital profit for the company. So last entry will be for profit. What will be the entry for the profit over here? Share forfeiture account debit. How much is the balance remaining in share forfeiture account? 8 minus 3? 5. That you will transfer to capital reserve account. And how will you find this profit? Amount forfeited. What was the amount forfeited here? 8 rupees minus discount allowed. What is the discount allowed here? 3 rupees. So what is the profit for the company? 8 minus 3? 5. That company will transfer to capital reserve. And company should not be at a loss. Means what is the minimum amount the company has to collect? 2 rupees. 8 plus 2 it should be 10. In short, what is the maximum discount company can give this? 8 rupees. Maximum discount which you can give is the amount forfeited. Company should not be at a loss. Did every one of you understand this? Okay. So one note will come. What note? Maximum silence, maximum discount on reissue of shares is the amount forfeited. Okay, what is the maximum discount company can give over here? What amount is paid by the old shareholder? That is 8 rupees in our example. Any confusions with this? Write it down.